Did you know that dark matter is supposed to make 97% of the universe? So it's dark matter and dark energy. So what we're really saying in cosmology is we don't know what the universe is made of. How can we even exit our front door? We don't know what the universe is made of. So it's just such a strange. How can we say we know anything about the universe? So what's really happening is all was actually beyond the speed of light, and it's really there, and it's actually super bright. Okay, and where's the darkest place in the universe? Well, a black hole. We now know that that's the brightest place in the universe. Yeah. Okay, so the black hole now becomes the source of infinite light. Yeah. So it's still got infinity at the center, but it's a source of infinite light. And what happens is light spirals down, and I'll show you some slides later on why I believe that spirals. It's actually following geometrical processes here, and including the phi ratio process, and it reaches the end of our perception horizon, the edge of our perception horizon, and then it gives off these fast-moving electrons that we see coming out of black holes. Okay, and that's how our universe is created. That's how the principle is created. It's matter that is coming out of light, and the light, when it gets here, it splits off into the matter and the antimatter regions. Okay, so that's what's going on, and that's why we see these electrons and positrons spiraling out of even our own Milky Way. The center of our own galaxy, we see these electrons and positrons, and nobody can figure out why this is. And if you want the reference, I can give that to you later. Okay, you can go look up all this data later on. So nobody can actually figure out what's going on. Okay, and that's not all. Do you remember what I said? The other thing is that the gamma rays come out. Okay, so we see gamma rays come out, and guess what? These gamma rays have the exact signature of when an electron and a positron combine. Because what happens is, and this is happening all around, has anybody heard of the 0-point field? Yeah? Okay. Do you remember the 0-point field, that you get a photon, and it splits into an electron and a positron, and then goes back into a photon again? Yeah? Okay, that process is happening all around us in the 0-point field, okay? So this process is actually happening in the black hole too. Okay, and so what happens is these two, the electron and the positron, recombine and form this light, and this is exactly the signature that we see coming out of black holes. Okay, so what's happening as well is not only do black holes create the electron and positron, they actually breathe, and when they go the other way, they actually produce light. So we've got this breathing process coming out of black holes where sometimes they go this way and they produce matter and antimatter, and sometimes they go the other way and they produce the gamma rays. Okay, so it's breathing. Now this is the sort of breath of the Tao. It's a breath of God, the flow of the Tao, the breath of God as it goes in and out. Okay, and there's no set point. Life is actually a dance. It's happening all around. There's no set point where it's better to be this or it's better to be that. It just is in a dance. Change is the only thing that's constant. Okay, so that's the process that's happening all the time. And guess what? We actually can see clouds near our own galaxy, clouds of hydrogen gas, that actually are breathing, and nobody knows why. Okay, it actually fits the data perfectly. And the other thing is these gamma ray bursts. We've been looking for the source of gamma rays for the last 50 years. Everyone can see this high energy gamma ray bursts that are coming out all over the universe, and nobody knows why it is. Okay, well, this is actually what's happening, and the pattern of the gamma ray burst is that you get a gamma ray, and then you get an X-ray, which is produced by high energy electrons, which we know come out of the black hole. So you get a gamma ray, you get an X-ray, you get a gamma ray, you get an X-ray, and this sort of pattern is going on all over the cosmos. Nobody knows why it's happening. So all cosmologists are doing and astrophysicists are doing at the moment is categorizing okay, we know that there's this type of gamma ray burst and this type of gamma ray burst, and they're just categorizing all because they don't understand what's going on. When you look at this principle, realize black holes are actually the source of infinite light that's coming out, and as it gets to the edge of our reality, it splits into the matter and antimatter, and then it can go the other way. That this is a process of creation. Okay, so you're actually seeing the gamma rays themselves coming out. So people have thought that gamma ray bursts, because they're so highly energetic, are actually must be caused by an explosion. But an explosion doesn't go like that, does it? An explosion has a huge, effect, and then it dies down. You don't get up and down and up and down, and sometimes these effects go up and down in 10 minutes. That's not the behavior in an explosion, but it fits completely this principle. Okay, so is everybody happy with that? That's the basis of the black hole principle, but guess what? It doesn't just end there. Okay. This principle is actually a principle that goes on throughout the cosmos in a fractal fashion at every single level of the cosmos. So it's happening at the level of the supermassive black hole. It's happening at the level of the quasar within the galaxy. This is something that you can clearly see within quasars. And it's also happening in the galactic clusters as well, the same process you can see. And I'm really excited this week actually because I just found an article. It was actually in New Scientist, and it said that when we're looking at our own galaxy, what we see are new stars within a light year of the center of our own galaxy. So this is completely unexpected. Nobody expected that, but it's a signature of creation. It's actually absolute, proof that you could have predicted this, that stars are actually created at the center of our own galaxy, and we're actually seeing that. So it's happening at the galactic level, but guess what? It actually happens at every single level of the cosmos. And I'll show you some slides of this. Okay, can you see? This is one of the, can everyone see this, or is it a bit small for people? Yeah, it's okay. Can you see this is like the bipolar jets? This is from a telescope picture. So, people are trying to explain why these bipolar jets are occurring because they happen in definite streams, okay? Because it doesn't look as if it's coming from the disk around the black hole. It actually looks very much like it's coming out of the black hole itself. And the reason why it's at right angles is a bit of a complicated question. It's to do with the geometry that's happening beyond the perception horizon, so it comes out of black holes. And anybody told you that when you shift dimension you go right angle? Have anybody heard that? Yeah, well, it's to do with that, okay? But that's a, well, and then again, these are the bipolar jets, and so there's many examples, and you can actually see the nice spirals in a nebula. So it's happening in a nebula there, and okay, you can see it in a galaxy there. So what's really interesting is that it's happening, as I said, this principle is happening at every level of the universe, and including the planets and the sun. Okay, and you're thinking, okay, the sun is not a black hole. That's impossible. Okay, but if you look at the surface of the sun, we can often see sort of flares coming out, solar flares, coronal mass ejections. Guess what's in there? High energy X-rays. The same process. Gamma rays are coming out. And also the spiral of matter and antimatter, like neutrinos and antineutrinos. That's what we see coming out of the surface of the sun. So what we see on the sun, anybody heard of sunspots? Mm-hmm. Yeah, sunspots? Black holes upon black holes. These are dark areas that we see on the surface of the sun. Nobody has any idea why they form. The sun is actually a fractal black hole, just like all of us, doing the same sort of process. So the sunspots are just another area that it's like it's turtles all the way down, it's black holes all the way down. Has anybody heard of that, about the turtles all the way down? No? Okay, so you have.